Hi there. Welcome to episode 25 of Husband and Wife Talks. On this episode, we talk about a recent ski trip to Breckenridge, Colorado, Thanksgiving plans, meals, recipes, etc., and just some fun holiday conversations in general.
Hey, Marta.
What's up?
What are you up to right now? You posting something on Insta as we speak?
No, I just did. I'm investigating. I mean, I can't start talking without going fully into it, so should I just go?
Sure.
Quick aside. So, quick aside for anybody that likes to travel. There's something, and likes to travel on a budget, but also likes cheap flights.
I feel like we've mentioned this on the pod before, though.
Well, it's just awesome. I have to mention it again.
You have to mention this great deal.
So I subscribed to something called Scott's Cheap Flights. I think it's like $39 a year, and he sends you flight deals pretty much every day, and you get to choose what hubs, like what airport hubs you get deals from. And I just saw one 25 minutes ago from Denver to Rome for $296.
Assuming it's not nonstop, because they normally have the asterisks next.
No, it's not nonstop. But still, $296 from Denver to Rome. So if there's any long pauses during this podcast, it's because I'm texting and try to plan myself a little trip.
And you also posted on Insta our new bed sheets.
Well, the sheets are coming, but this is the duvet cover and the
Sorry.
the pillow shams. It's okay.
I'm showing my man nature, apparently.
I mean, it's not like knowing that vocabulary is really essential to life. But I don't know. That Christmas spirit in the bedroom is just beautiful. The lights and the bedding, it's just so nice.
It's just so elegant.
But anyway, yeah, if you like to travel and you're flexible with flights and you don't like paying $1,000 to fly to Europe when you can get $400 round trip tickets from the US to Europe pretty frequently when they have sales, you should subscribe to Scott's Cheap Flights. All you need is, and I'm not getting paid to say this, obviously, but all you really need is one cheap flight.
Not yet.
And then it pays for itself.
Yeah.
Because it's only in the 30s per year.
Mm-hmm.
So, very, very cool.
Very cool. I think we just recently booked a flight to New Zealand, actually, for next fall. Was it next fall? End of fall?
Yep.
Yeah. It was, I think, around low 600s.
Less than the price of one normal round trip ticket.
Mm-hmm. Just because I think flights to New Zealand are normally like 1,600, 1,700, so it was less than half. It's just with this, it's sporadic, the days where you have to choose, so a lot of times you have to go on to Google Flights and see the proper pricing for the day range, and sometimes you have to do weird days from like Wednesday to a Tuesday or Sunday or something, but I think it's worth it. But this is episode 25 of Husband and Wife Talks. We made it to 25, babe. Can you believe that?
Impressive.
I know.
We've come a long way.
Coincides with Thanksgiving week, which I think we'll be talking about a little bit. But as you listen to it, I'm assuming because all the hot listeners listen right away because they can't get enough of this podcast. It's November 20th.
I can't get enough, and I don't even listen because I don't want to listen to something that I already spoke.
But I mean, sometimes it's helpful if you listen to yourself because then you can sort of critique things that you did.
But what is there to critique when you're already playing your A game?
Yeah, you're just perfect, baby.
No.
Change.
I don't mean to come off as conceited.
Braggadocious.
Is that a word?
I think that's a word.
Braggadocious?
Look it up.
That sounds so made up. That sounds like you wanted to sound smart and say a word that was related to bragging, and then it just didn't work out.
Braggadocious, boastful or arrogant. What's up now, baby?
Braggadocious.
It's braggadocious.
It's braggadocious. Braggadocious.
Braggadocious.
Okay. It's a robot speaking.
According to Google,
I trust humans more than robots, okay?
According to Google, we have a sample sentence in case you want to hear it in a sentence. You know, like when you have spelling bees as a kid, or you watch spelling bees on TV, and they give you a word, and then you ask for the definition, and you ask for the word in a sentence.
That's just all stalling. That's all it is.
Yeah. I don't understand. Okay, you have the definition, which should help you figure out if you know the word or not. How does hearing it in a sentence help? It's not like hearing it in a sentence defines how the word is spelled. But anyway, it sounds braggadocious, but I don't think I ever dropped a pass in a game. You know what? That does sound braggadocious. Google.
Well, it is November 20th, what I was originally going to get to. November 20th, you're listening on the Tuesday. It is technically National Absurdity Day and National Peanut Butter Fudge Day. What a random assortment. It's just 2 days, but that's random. Apparently, National Absurdity Day is just to celebrate all the absurd things that's happened in our history. I think that's what I read, which is a little interesting. They don't give any suggestions as what happened. And then, I think you can figure out what National Peanut Butter Fudge is. Do you like fudge?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think fudge is really dense.
It's very
and I feel
sweet.
like it gets either stuck in my teeth or I just get tired of eating it. Like my jaws are just giving up on me.
Yeah, I think it's fudge. I like fudge because I would always get it when we go to the boardwalk in Jersey to the beach. They would always have a bunch of fudge shops, and there's pretty good fudge on the boardwalk. But you can't eat. I made the mistake of buying just one large thing of fudge one time, of just one flavor.
Large meaning what, like a pound? I don't really know what
I guess
sizes fudge is
pound,
usually
maybe. I don't know.
sold in.
But it was just one because I really was interested in that flavor. Wrong decision. If you're going to buy fudge, get an assortment because you get real tired of the same flavor real quick. And it's very sweet, and you can't eat a lot of it at one go-round. You have to eat, like, little slices of it. I think I've made fudge once. I think it turned out pretty well. I forget how you make it because I did it once, but maybe I think you're looking it up now, so maybe you'll enlighten all the hot listeners. But I love me some fudge. I like specifically, my favorites are chocolate peanut butter. I like Rocky Road fudge. And I think I like cookies and cream.
I do have a recipe in front of me from allrecipes.com. According to this, all you need is I guess this is for chocolate fudge, but semi-sweet chocolate chips, a can of sweetened condensed milk, and butter.
Very
so it's just
straightforward.
chocolate mixed with things that make it heavier and more delicious, I guess.
Tasty.
Oh, there is something. Speaking of delicious things, I talked to your mom today. My mother-in-law, your mom. And she mentioned that she tried pumpkin gnocchis. And she said they were really good. So then, while we were talking, since I had my earbuds in and my computer in front of me because I was talking to her during my lunch time, I Googled a recipe for pumpkin gnocchis. And they're actually really easy to make. I mean, I guess, I don't know if I'm just saying that because I'm used to cooking a lot.
You're saying it's easy as in, like, it's very straightforward, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But it could take very time consuming because it sounds like you have to make all the individual gnocchis in of itself.
Yeah.
So.
But high level, I mean, the recipe I found quickly and the one that we plan to make is from pinchofyum.com. It's literally pinchofyum.com/pumpkin-gnocchi. So it's very straightforward. But the ingredients are only a russet potato, anyway. A cup of pumpkin puree, an egg, and flour, and salt and butter. And then you make the sauce. Mm-hmm. So it's not really that many ingredients to make the gnocchi. I think, like you said, it's just making the dough and then prepping them, and then you have to cook them, make the sauce. Oh, that sounds so good.
Do you have to let them sit for a little while, like to have them like congeal together? Because I'm assuming it would be a little difficult if you took them right into the boiling water. I feel like they would just separate completely. Like, do you have to like freeze them or put them in the fridge?
As far as I see, no. You just put them on a plate.
All recipes, infinite wisdom. Oh no, it's yum. Piece of yum. Wisdom.
Pinch of yum.
Pinch of yum. Close enough.
It says once the dough comes together, you form it into a little loaf, and then you cut the slices into a long rope, or you roll them into ropes, and then you bring the water to boil. And then when the gnocchi rise to the top, like a thin long string.
Oh, so then you can
just chop them into the little pieces.
But yeah, that sounds good. You plan on making it.
Yeah.
There's sometimes where you just get a recipe and you're just like, I need to make this, and you get it in your head, and then you're just like,
I mean,
off to the
it's so
races.
simple. The only things we had to buy.
Famous last words.
What? It's so simple.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the only things we needed to buy was pumpkin puree and a russet potato, even though we had potatoes but not russet, and I didn't know if it really mattered. So
I'm gonna come back home from work tomorrow, and I'm gonna walk in, and I'm just gonna turn to the left where the kitchen is, and I'm just gonna see flour all over your face, and you're like,
Oh,
wasn't
please.
that simple?
I am a good cook.
You are. I'm just saying, when you do stuff like with flour and mixing it around, it can be very messy. That's the one thing I hate handling is like any type of flour, like tapioca flour or flour in general.
Flour is so unnecessarily messy.
Yeah, it just gets everywhere because you just move your like cup in it, and then just all the flour puffs out, and then it just gets all over the counter. It's a pain in the butt to clean too. But it's good and stuff.
What's good?
Flour. When you put flour and stuff, it's good. Gluten. Num, num, num. Except for all those people allergic to gluten and stuff. Then it's not good.
Yeah.
Quality stuff from Adam right here.
You just keep saying stuff in different sentences. Gluten stuff, quality stuff, stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm an A-list podcaster, let me tell you.
Well, maybe you should take some tips from your co-host.
Oh, there you go again, being braggadocious.
I'm not braggadocious. I'm just like the example. It sounds braggadocious, but I don't think I ever
I'm just
failed.
the example that you strive for, Adam.
I'm trying to give my example of braggadocious.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds braggadocious, but I don't think I ever failed at hosting a podcast.
I think we just have to go back to the first few episodes, and you can tell that we were a little more nervous on those.
Not nervous now.
Yeah, it's second nature, baby.
Yeah.
Fun time.
It is fun.
Mm-hmm. But you actually went back to Maryland this past week.
I did.
What exactly did you want to tell all the hot listeners what you were up to?
Just spending time with the family.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, baby.
Yeah, it is sweet. I'm a pretty sweet girl.
Pretty sweet girl.
Yeah.
You want anything else you want to share about it, or nah? Did you want to share your setup from working from your parents' home? I thought that was pretty.
I was chilling on a mattress on the floor. Well, I mean, I was working from home.
Yeah, you had like a nice little mattress fort for where you were working.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't want to sit at a desk. That felt really formal. So I just kind of sat on a mattress on the floor.
You came back to here and you worked on
Well, yeah, here I'll sit at a desk, but that was different. But it was nice. Had some good food. Really good crab cakes. My mom makes really good crab cakes. Went to Home Goods. I love Home Goods. Home Goods, I feel like I have a similar mentality that I
I
have
don't think
with...
I've ever been to an actual Home Goods. She is giving the wide eye with folks.
Oh my god. What?
I don't think I have. I've been to like
I've never dragged you to a Home Food...
Is it Pier 1? Pier 13? What is it called?
Pier 1.
Pier 1. I've been to that. Michael's, maybe.
Michael's is not even the same category as Home Goods.
Wait, is Pier 1?
No. I mean, yes. Pier 1 is in the same category as Home Goods. Michael's is an arts and crafts store. They don't have anything for the home unless you buy it and make it yourself.
They have like knickknacks.
Knickknacks, not like decoration.
Yeah,
well, they have some decorations, but they don't have any furniture. Home Goods has actual furniture.
Okay, continue with your Home Goods spiel. I will.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe you've never been. I'll have to take you.
Get my head ripped off.
Last weekend,
not knowing what Home Goods is.
Last weekend, when a friend was visiting us, I went with her to Home Goods. It was a combo store of Home Goods and TJ Maxx. So the title of the store literally said Home Goods TJ Maxx or vice versa. And you walk in to a TJ Maxx, and then literally halfway through the store, there's just a sign that says "Welcome to Home Goods." I'm like, this is just a continuation. I don't understand because.
So is that basically the equivalent of a like Taco Bell Pizza Hut combo or like
I don't eat at either of those places.
Yeah, I know,
so I have
but
no
you
idea.
know fast food joints where you pull up and there's just like Taco Bell and Pizza Hut.
Oh,
like
yeah.
Taco Bell, KFC all rolled into one.
Except the difference is for those, they serve different types of food. For TJ Maxx, they have some of those knickknacks that you would buy for your house, and sometimes TJ Maxx does have furniture. So it kind of felt weird to be like, this is the divide, but then you still have the same type of items. Except, I guess in this store, the difference was that the TJ Maxx section was more of like the clothes, shoes, purses, like body care, that type of thing. And then Home Goods was more Christmas decorations, furniture.
Oh, you were probably in heaven.
The Christmas section was amazing. It was.
I'm shocked you didn't come back with a whole another suitcase worth of Christmas stuff.
It was hard. What did I buy anything at Home Goods? I think I bought one thing, but I can't remember what I bought. Wow, glad it's making such an impact on my life that I already forgot a week later.
Candles, maybe?
No, I only buy candles.
Where
If
do you
you
only buy
want to
candles now?
hear where I buy candles, please listen to Candle Chats in episode 24, and you'll hear everything you need.
Yeah,
I buy
that's true.
candles from Yankee Candle.
Are we gonna have a candles chat this week? Do you have anything?
I don't have any updates.
Okay. I guess I have to put away my voice now. That's sad.
Sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
Man, I still can't remember what I bought.
That's probably a bad thing.
It's bothering me.
All right. Well, maybe you'll figure it out.
But
okay.
When I went to Home
Don't
Goods
hurt yourself
in Maryland,
run your head into the
I
microphone.
bought those beautiful red placemats that have these gold Christmas trees on them. They're a very classy Christmas season placemat, because I did want new placemats because the ones we use are about
2 years?
2 years old, which isn't, I mean, I'm not going to throw them away, but I just wanted something a little more festive. This year, definitely been going a little more, been investing more in the Christmas season. My current, I don't even know if these are called slippers. They're like socks, but they're half socks, half slippers. But the ones I'm wearing right now are really soft.
How's that related to Christmas at all?
Because they remind me of Christmas.
How?
Because they're
not green.
They're cute.
Okay.
And Christmas things are
I thought you were
going to
go with like your pajama pants that you're wearing, but you just went straight for your socks that are clearly not related to Christmas at all.
I mean, my pajama pants are Christmassy because they have the little, or they're more wintry because they have the little trees and red and green. And my slippers match my pants because they both have that deep navy blue color. So that's why I figured that they just run into this Christmas theme I have. Don't even get me started.
I think we already talked about the blanket.
This blanket! No, that's not what I got at Home Goods.
No,
I got this
you got that at Castle Rock. We talked about this last week.
Oh my gosh. This is a disaster. This is when you shop too little. You shop too little.
Good save.
And you can't remember what you bought because you barely bought anything. See, if I bought a lot, I'd be ranting on and on about all the items I bought. But poor Marta didn't buy anything.
You bought an avocado slicer recently.
I bought an avocado slicer at
Bed Bath & Beyond.
No, not Bed Bath & Beyond.
Target?
Oh, City Market, a grocery store in the
yeah.
mountains that we stopped at. Because
Speaking of which.
Yeah. Well, I was going to explain why I bought it there. Because the original place I was going to buy, it was $10. And it was not on sale. And then some lady, I was standing in front of the section of this store in the outlets that had all of these little kitchen knickknacks, like apple quarters, avocado slicers, and that type of thing. And then this woman out of nowhere walks up to the maybe I was talking to you about it, I'm not sure, but she walks up to it, she grabs an avocado slicer, and she's like, these are the best, I have one and I love it, everyone should have one, or something like that. And I was like, okay, I feel kind of bad if I
make guacamole every week.
Oh, yeah. She did say that. She was like, I make guacamole all the time. And then I'm just looking at Adam like, okay.
Then her husband walks up behind us. She's like, she does. That's basically it.
But then I remembered that Bed Bath & Beyond also sold them. So I Googled it real quick. And they're the same price there. But Bed Bath & Beyond, if you're not familiar, You can literally Google 20% off coupon, Bed Bath & Beyond, and just get like a 20% off coupon for one item. They do have exclusions, so if you're buying something that's a certain brand, it might not work. But for that, I probably could have gone in, gotten my 20% off, and gotten it for cheaper. But anyway, we can continue. Well, so I bought it.
I wanted to actually ask you, because you were mentioning Christmas stuff a bunch prior. Sure. And I think, because we've been talking about wanting to get a house in the future, does the idea of buying a bunch of Christmas stuff for our house in the future excite you? Does it make you want to have a house even more now?
I mean, I don't want to buy a house just to buy junk to fill it with. Because I don't see... The issue I have with houses sometimes is like the way that homes are set up nowadays. There's rooms that you have in a house that no one uses. Yeah. Like, I don't know how it is in other people's homes, but in one of the homes I grew up in, the family room was where we had like the comfy couch and the TV, and the living room was the one right off of the front entrance.
Yeah.
And there was like nice couches, not as comfortable as the ones in the family room, and then like a nice table and carpet, but we never sat there.
Yeah.
So I never understood what the point of a living room is if you also have a family room and the family room is where you sit.
I think it goes into...
I don't get it.
When we watched that minimalist documentary on Netflix.
That was really interesting.
Where it was talking about how a lot of times houses are way too big now. Like, if you look at a heat map of houses that have families in them, most of the time they're either you're in your bedroom, bathroom, or a lot of times you're in the kitchen and family room. And then other dining room, living room, like the fancier rooms are never really used that much. And I think it goes back to the fact that now houses are even larger, which is causing them to be more expensive. Because people always ask, why are the house prices going up? Well, one, certain areas are more expensive. You live to a more expensive city like D.C., for example. And two, houses are gigantic compared to where they used to be in like the 60s or 70s. Like you go into, I picture like a house like my grandparents on my dad's side, and it's like basically a very condensed house, and you have all you need just right there. There's like a family room, then the bedrooms are off to the right, a dining room that leads right into the kitchen, and you make use of the whole house, and it's a lot smaller, and you won't cost nearly that much compared to houses nowadays that are just like 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, but part of it also is not everyone has this mentality, obviously, but a lot of people in the American culture have the mentality that you should buy as much as you can afford and as big of a house as you can afford. So if you do a mortgage calculator and it tells you, hey, you can afford a house for $300,000 or $700,000 or $1.5 million.
Those things are ridiculous, too.
Then, yeah. From our own personal experience, I think they're off. Or I just wouldn't pay how much they think I should.
Basically, the mortgage calculator on your annual income is giving you all the way up to the amount of where it takes away. Basically, for us, it would be like 2 paychecks a month just to pay for a house, it seemed like. Maybe even more.
Well, according to quote-unquote experts, they say I think you're supposed to spend 33% of your income on housing. Yeah. But anyway, with that mentality of like, oh, we have to get the biggest and best and most expensive that we can afford, then why would you go and buy a house that's smaller and doesn't have some of the extra rooms if you do have the means for something bigger?
I can understand if you are planning on having like a larger family and you get a large house, but I don't understand having like a pretty substantial sized house for just like 2 people, you know?
Yeah. That makes sense. But to answer your question, I don't want a house just so I can have more Christmas decorations and decorate, but when we do have a house in the future, I am excited because...
To make it more homey?
Yeah, because an apartment is hard because it is short term and
you don't really own it. It's not yours.
Yeah, it's not yours. And we also, I think our current apartment is plenty of space for the 2 of us. I mean, I honestly wouldn't, I mean, I know we both agree on this because we've talked about it, but there's no need for us to pay for more space just because we maybe could afford it. but not need it, you know.
Except for I wish they had 2 bathrooms in this apartment. Sometimes it gets real dicey.
Yeah,
so
our old apartment had a 1 bedroom, a den, and then a full bedroom or a full bath, and then a
like a powder
half
room type
bath
deal.
So that was nice, definitely, especially when we had guests over. And even just for the 2 of us, if one of us was using the bathroom and one was showering or getting ready and all that, it was just nice to have 2. But yeah, I'm excited to have a house because then it's, you're there for more than a year.
Yeah, that's another thing.
And you own it, so you want to take the responsibility on yourself to decorate and make it feel more homey. And you have space for a nice big Christmas tree when it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I also am excited to have a yard because I feel like when apartments like our current one has a little patio, balcony type thing, I never
want to go out on it.
I never want to go out because it doesn't feel private because I can see 30, 40 other apartments and people walking by with their dogs and dogs going to the bathroom right outside.
Right in front of our patio.
I mean, it's better than not having any outdoor space, I suppose, but having a yard would be nice because you could have a grill and you could have space to, if you have a dog, have the dog run around, or even you could have space to just sit outside and have company over. But I know having a house has
drawbacks
because you have to deal with the maintenance and
cleaning.
Yeah, the thing about our apartment is that even when it's totally really messy, it takes like an hour and a half to clean because it's like living area, kitchen, bedroom, and then our little desk area. It's not usually that messy.
It's not that messy right now.
Yeah. So yeah, just a little house ramble. Maybe that can be a tidbit of the podcast.
Tidbit? I mean,
like a section on the podcast. Instead of candle chats, we can do like.
Crap! The word just escaped me. It's like a bit of the podcast or a section or a. The heck's it called? I don't know.
A chunk.
Maybe I'll remember it later on. But actually, back to where we were at when we were talking about the city market where you bought the avocado slicer. We were by a city market in Breckenridge, Colorado, for our first skiing of the season.
Very fun.
Had a good time. I just think it comes into clear like how beneficial the Epic Pass is for. Since we're living here, you can just do day trips and you don't have to feel obligated to stay for such a long period of time because then you can come back other weekends to do skiing. But I know when your parents come and we go skiing, we're probably going to make sure to get the most out of it, especially because they're flying out. But we're getting in ski shape because I realized when the first time down, just going down a green, my thighs were just... Even though I've been working out recently, for some reason they're not in ski shape apparently, and my thighs were just on fire, burning from all the turns I was doing.
I mean, skiing is hard because even if you work out those muscles, the way that you work out the muscles is different than standing, not bent over, but bending your knees and not kneeling. Oh my gosh, I can't talk right now.
It's okay.
But anyway... You're using the muscles differently, so...
The A-list podcaster can't speak?
I'm sorry, the A-list podcaster's heart is beating very quickly because she saw a most amazing deal ever, and she has no one to go with.
Oh, am I not invited?
You said you didn't have enough vacation days.
Well, it's kind of true.
And I have been perusing, and unfortunately...
Take your mom.
No, I just texted my parents.
They're not in it?
I mean, they're like, you can't take that much vacation every month. And I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. I can't take vacation every other week.
That's true.
But I have been clicking around through Google Flights to see when that good deal is. And for the most part, it's for a week-long trip, like a Monday to Monday, Tuesday to Tuesday, or Monday to Tuesday, Wednesday of the following week. But I don't think it's... The shortest I found is for 6 days over MLK weekend, But even then, you have to take off
Yeah.
3 days.
Mm.
Oh, well. And it has 2 stops, one in Atlanta and one in either New York or London.
So you fly to Atlanta to fly up to
New York.
JFK. And then fly out?
Yeah.
That's a long travel day for sure.
Yeah, that's 18 hours worth of travel. The good thing about the East Coast is that there's plenty of direct flights to Europe, especially from hubs like Philly, even Dulles.
Philly.
They have direct flights to lots of places.
Yeah. But back to Breck. We had a good time.
Sorry. Always get distracted by travel.
To continue what you're saying about being in, like, working out versus skiing, I feel like a lot of times skiing is it's kind of like running, where it's more of an endurance-based thing, where you're constantly bending over, you're constantly, like, putting stress on, like, different leg muscles because you're turning back and forth. Especially if me, I don't like to go too fast because that's where problems occur. That's where
you got to shred.
That's where problems happened last year, where I went a little too fast and my ski got caught and I ended up falling, and it wasn't too pleasant, but it was a good time. It snowed like 6 inches over the night, going into Sunday morning, so it was very powdery, very not much ice. There's random ice patches, but it was pretty amazing ski.
Yeah, I was impressed. I've heard some questionable things about people that are from Denver or Colorado about how early season skiing sometimes isn't that great because they either have to make snow or it's really crowded. I think since it snowed the night before, we had a lot of that fresh snow. And I didn't think... obviously it was crowded because the parking lot where we normally park in every time I've ever been to Breck before was full. Mm-hmm. And all the parking lots were full except for a satellite lot like a mile away, which was nice because it was free.
Yeah.
And the shuttle was pretty quick. Yeah. But that told me, that was a clear indicator that it was packed. But I didn't feel like, the lifts moved quickly. There wasn't ever a line where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to wait here 20 minutes or longer to get on the lift.
Except there's something that grinds my gears now, since I'm an avid skier now, I can say. But people that show up and you can clearly tell that they're not going skiing, like they're planning on sitting at the lodge and just drinking. And you're just like, you're just making it more packed. Well, it's mainly because Breck, you have to use the gondola to get all the way up there. Yeah. Vail, like they can come and walk through the village, so it's not like actually in the way and causing long lines at the gondola ride up. But
there was no line at the gondola.
Yeah, it was. There was a good amount of people on the way
to
back.
Get down, but to go up. Oh, you're talking about getting down?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah.
Grinds my gears.
So does that part annoy you, just that they caused a line at the gondola, or does the concept of people coming to a ski resort and not ski at all also?
A little bit. They're just taking up seats in like the lodge area.
That's fair.
Which is a little annoying.
Although I've never been to Aspen in Colorado, but I've heard that Aspen is a place where celebrities go and pretty well-off people visit, and that there's really high-end shops there, so people will go there just to shop and not ski.
Count me out.
Yeah. I'd rather just shop close to me. I'd rather not go to a destination specifically to shop, but that's...
Sometimes those people have that amount of money.
That's what I was about to say. I'm also not even the same category as them, which reminds me, super random, but one day I was looking at Instagram, and in the explore section or whatever, I saw a post. It was Carson Wentz's. It was him and his wife on a giant mattress. It was like a custom made. So then I clicked on it. I was like, what is this company? I've never heard of it. And they make custom mattresses, and I think the smallest size they do is a king or California king, and the largest is literally the size of a room. I saw 10 by 10 or 11 by 11 feet.
We've talked about this before, so I have no clue if we actually mentioned it on the pod before either. But
yeah, I don't know.
It's $10,000, right? Dollars to $100 and some.
So I was getting there. So I was on the website, and most, I don't know statistic wise, percentage wise, but I'm going to guess that about 90-95% of what you look at online when you're shopping has a price tag associated with it. There's like certain one-off websites that are like, submit an inquiry, and I'm like, okay, bye. No, I don't want to do that. So then I was searching this website, like, come on, how much is this 10-foot by 10-foot mattress going to cost? How much is it going to cost me? And then I remembered someone told me once, I don't know who it was, if it was a family member or family friend or whatever, but they said, or maybe it's just an anecdote, but they said, if you have to figure out how much something costs, that probably means you can't afford it. And that just came to me in that moment. I was like, I kind of have a bad feeling about this, because if a star NFL quarterback owns this and is advertising for it on social media, I feel like it's not, $2,000 for a ginormous mattress. So then I finally found an article, and it said, well, you just mentioned earlier, that they range from $10,000 to $100,000.
That reminds me of when I was younger and I watched on MTV the show Cribs. Do you ever watch that show?
I don't think I've ever watched it,
It's
but
where
I've heard
they
of
just
it.
go around rich people's houses and shows what they have. A lot of like celebrities. And I specifically remember Shaq's house. Do you know who Shaq is? Shaquille O'Neal, famous basketball player, center, gigantic. But he had this gigantic round bed. I think it was like 25 feet in diameter, maybe.
What?
It was huge, and it had the Superman symbol on it.
Oh my gosh.
It makes sense for a guy that large. He needs a large bed. He's like 7'1".
Did you say a 25-foot bed makes sense for a 7-foot person? Okay, so by that logic, I'm 5 feet tall, so I need a bed that's over 15 feet. If we take our height and multiply it by 3.5 approximately.
Touché.
So I need a 17-foot bed. You gonna get on that or what? Or am I just gonna sleep on my little peasant bed?
We'll get a California king in the future.
Is a California king the same as a king, just longer?
Yeah, just a little bit wider.
Wider or longer?
Wider. I thought it was wider.
I thought it was longer.
Wider.
Longer.
Why would we care about longer? I want wider.
Tall people.
So you don't need me in the back at night. Give me more space.
You're fine. Goodness.
We're
gonna see what
sometimes
Google
I wake
says.
up and there's like elbows or knees just right into my spine.
I don't know whose
wonder why I
elbows and
have back
knees.
problems.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, I'm going to read off the dimensions, and we're going to see who's right. It's not Adam. A king is 76 inches wide and 80 inches long.
Why would you care about...
76 by 80. California is 72 by 84.
Why would you want something longer? Okay,
I just said taller people. Tall people.
Do tall people live in California? Is that why?
California's long.
And it's only
a
4
long
inches.
state.
That doesn't make much of a difference.
I don't know. You're asking me these questions like I just invented California kings and you
should
think
know
they're a
these
bad
things,
idea.
Baby.
Also,
You're the smarter one in this couple.
while a California king is slightly longer than a standard king, it has less total surface area.
Oh,
Wow.
Well, king it is.
Who
Never
really
mind.
cares about surface area?
Scratch that. Actually, we're going to get one of those gigantic beds, so...
Man, I'm just daydreaming. They look, because then after I saw that picture of Carson Wentz and his wife, and I think their dog was in it too, then I started searching for more pictures, and of course, it was only celebrities, because what kind of average American's going to go buy $100,000 mattress? Oh yeah, my mortgage is $500K, so can you just tag on $100? Yeah, don't worry about it. Personal loan, it's from a mattress. The thing is, it's only the mattress. So if you get yourself a 10-foot by 10-foot bed, you need to find a frame.
Special sheets.
Special sheets, special comforter, probably ginormous pillows. Each person gets a body pillow as a normal pillow because the bed is so huge. And a frame. Are you going to build that yourself? I mean, if you can afford a $100,000 bed, I hope you're not building your own bed frame.
Well, unless you're Ron Swanson.
True. Wow.
Breckenridge, yeah. I don't know how we got to Breckenridge, from Breckenridge to mattresses, but one final thing with Breck, though, we got our experience with a scary ski lift. The one ski lift, which was like a double ski lift.
It was so windy. Or
Yeah.
so, It rocked back and forth so much.
For it being a beginner area, because we wanted to go down the green one to just get the hang of skiing again, it was like zooming around like the corner, and it gave me like flashbacks, or not flashbacks because I wasn't there, but it gave me made me think about a video I saw where a ski lift was like out of control because it was going too fast and they couldn't stop it, and like some skiers getting like thrown off at the
I think bottom. I remember you showed me that. That's terrifying.
Yeah, terrifying indeed. Yeah, it like zoomed around, and I was a little too far on the edge, so the thing rammed me right in my butt, which hurt right off the bat. And then it didn't have like cushions on the back, so I was just like sitting up against a bar. We were, and then it was so windy when we first started. We were like bouncing up and down, swaying back and forth. You were worried that you were gonna get like motion sick.
I felt motion sick on that double. I like double ski lifts or even triples, because then if you're a party of 2 or 3. Well, that and something that bothers me is I really don't like leaving the bar up, because that's a long way to fall.
Uh-huh.
And sometimes when the lift stops suddenly or it's really windy, you get shaken a lot in the ski chair or lift or whatever. And I don't like people that like resist putting the bar down, especially at the nicer places and with the newer ski lifts. They have the little bar where you can rest your skis on, so you can legitimately rest your feet a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't like people that don't want to put it down at all, because I'm like, this is a safety issue and I feel unsafe. And then there's the people that want to lift it like when we're 200 yards away. I'm like, okay, what was the point of even putting it down if now we're going to lift it and ride a third or a quarter of the way? Because I remember it's always an issue, and my dad's really good at handling it, because people will be like, ready to lift it, and then he pretends like he's taking his skis off the bar, or I don't know, just taking longer and then people are like, are you ready now? And he's like, we still have so much, there's 4 lifts ahead of us.
I don't understand like people like that. What are they in a rush to get to?
I think people just get anxious that they're not going to get off. Dude, if we are at the part where you have to get off the lift and for some reason your bar is still down, they'll stop the lift.
Mm-hmm.
Or worst case scenario, if you are past the part where you're supposed to get off and for some reason you didn't lift the bar yet and you're still on the lift, then they would stop the lift, take your skis off for you, and help you slide off and get off if you're like a foot or 2 above ground. There's no situation, or if you end up circling back around, there's people that do that too on purpose.
Yeah.
Like it's usually the people that work there, I think. But still, there's no situation where if you don't lift the bar in time, you're stuck on the ski lift forever.
They always give you a heads up when to actually raise the bar.
Yeah.
That's what I think when you need
pet peeves.
Yeah, I agree.
That's why I like being on a lift by myself. You don't have to talk to people that are rude or pretend like, I don't know, just people that are not friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole safety issue.
I completely agree.
Anyway, that was a random aside. Well, not really random, because we were talking about skiing. I just thought about something else related to this conversation, and then I blanked. Oh, we were going to talk about Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Cool. Thanksgiving
is that related to the conversation? You just
No, I just remembered that might have been where I wanted to go next.
Okay. But yeah, this week is Thanksgiving. Yay!
On Thursday.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
What? I have a question when it comes to holidays. When do you decide to say happy in front of it or merry?
Merry is Christmas. Happy is literally everything else. You don't say Merry Hanukkah. You don't say Merry Kwanzaa.
Or you say, no, that's fair.
You don't say Merry New Year. You don't say Merry Thanksgiving. You don't say Merry Halloween.
I'm
you don't say
start
Merry
saying
Easter.
Merry instead of happy.
They all sound stupid. Christmas owns Mary.
That sounds bad.
Because of Virgin Mary.
Oh my God, is that?
That's why you say Merry Christmas.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Please don't spread that. I made that
up. But it makes sense. Except for it's not the same Mary. You don't spell it the same. It has the Virgin Mary.
I know.
Oh my goodness.
If you want, I can give a brief description on why we say Merry Christmas instead of Happy Christmas.
Sure.
So, I'm actually still scrolling through the article. So,
okay.
Okay.
Vape? What is it called?
Did you say vape?
It's like vamping, like when you're just, somebody else is busy doing something on the podcast, or you're just trying to talk.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely, I'm not vaping, and you're not vaping. No, thank you. I'm not interested in that. So, happy is an emotional condition, while merry is a behavior. Furthermore, happy, which came from the word hap, I feel like I'm in My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yeah.
When he's like, blah, 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 comes from the Greek word blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, oh my gosh, Dad, stop. Anyway, furthermore, happy, which came from the word hap, meaning luck or chance, implies good fortune. Meanwhile, merry implies a more active showing of happiness, which you might think of as merrymaking. While both words have evolved and changed meaning over time, yes, people did once say Happy Christmas. People stopped using merry as its own individual word during the 18th and 19th centuries. It stuck around in common phrases like the more the merrier, as well as in things like Christmas carols and stories, largely due to the influence of Charles Dickens. Of course, Happy Christmas hasn't faded completely. It's still widely used in England, but Merry Christmas took on sentimental meaning in the U.S. Even hearing Merry on its own makes us think of December 25th.
It's fair.
And this is all from countryliving.com. So
it has to be right. It's on the internet.
That's not true. I mean, sometimes, but usually not.
I feel like people are just in Christmas time are in a better mood. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the season.
Really? I think everyone's a lot more stressed out.
Really? I feel like people are just happier.
I don't know. How do you measure people's happiness or merriness? Haha.
No idea. Maybe we should ask some psychologists that we know. Do we know any psychologists?
No.
We don't?
A psychologist?
Yeah.
I don't know any psychologists.
Cool.
Do you?
No.
When you were sounded shocked.
I know somebody that studied psychology.
Okay, but studying psych doesn't make you a psychologist.
Good point.
Just like studying anything doesn't make you a master of that if you didn't go into that field or get further education. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Like if you do pre-med in college, you're not automatically a doctor. You gotta follow through there, you know? So
yeah. That's true. You wanted to do pre-med at some point, right?
I was pre-med at some point.
Wow. But
Freshman
you hate blood and everything else, so it's a good choice.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Thanksgiving. So you got excited because we're going to my mom's for Thanksgiving, and you decided you wanted to make some stuff for Thanksgiving, and you sent her a whole slew of different things.
I only sent her 4 recipes.
You sent her so many recipes.
I sent 4.
That's a lot of recipes. Well, for one day, that's a lot. 4 recipes in one day for one person?
I just found an article about happiness in the holiday season, and I want to share.
You want to share?
It's from the New York Times.
I promise, people, we'll get to wherever we were planning on going with Thanksgiving.
Well, I wanted to share, and this is actually relevant to Thanksgiving. So, in fact, Christmas Day, though not celebrated by everyone, is the happiest day of the year by a significant margin. Thanksgiving and New Year's Eve are not too far behind.
Look who was right.
This guy. While it's easy to call to mind spoiled children fighting over toys or distant relations making awkward conversation, the holidays are, relatively speaking, quite happy.
Woo-woo.
So, yeah, this article is called "We're Happier on the Holidays."
I think it gives away the whole...
Yeah, I didn't really leave much to the imagination. Also, this article is really short. It's 3 paragraphs.
Well, they got you to click on it. That's the whole point of headlines nowadays.
But I was looking for something like this. It's not like it was clickbait.
That's true. Back to Thanksgiving.
But anyway, Thanksgiving, yeah.
What you planning on making? You were very excited. Do you want to explain or talk about what you wanted to make for Thanksgiving? Well, what we'll make for Thanksgiving, because I'll obviously help. But you're the brains behind the operation. I'm just the muscle.
I don't think we need any muscle in the kitchen.
All right, when I have to lift things for you or stir things.
What are you lifting in the kitchen? Weights?
Whenever I have to get like the baking sheets or baking pans.
Oh.
Or the griddle.
Oh.
Or the Instapot. I'm always the one that has to go get it.
You don't have to.
I know. but I think it's nice.
I have muscles. I can
do?
do it.
You're a strong, independent woman, but I'm a gentleman and I want to help out.
Good. Get yourself a gentleman, ladies.
Okay.
Or gentlemen. Gentlemen, get yourself a gentleman.
I think that we've been hanging on this cliffhanger for so long about what we're making.
Okay. Drum roll, please. Okay. So you're asking what I'm making or what I propose to make, right? Because I can't speak for what your mom will make besides turkey. Because
what we want to make for Thanksgiving.
Okay. So I'll start from most boring to most exciting. Actually, they're all exciting, so that's not really fair. First one, though, is cornbread muffins. So literally it's just cornbread, but it's in a muffin pan or like cupcake tins. Muffin form, yeah. So I like that because then each person gets like a little cornbread muffin because otherwise I might eat half of the cornbread on the table. And this way I just have one and I know I got to ration it out and not eat 500 calories worth of just cornbread. But it's actually pretty simple to make. I use the allrecipes.com version or allrecipes.com recipe. And all you need is butter, sugar, honey, eggs, salt, flour, cornmeal, baking powder, milk, and corn kernels.
That's all you need.
So it's pretty simple. Then the main course is a stuffing recipe because I've never had box stuffing in my life. I don't think I've ever tried it. I've always grown up having stuffing that my mom and I used to make together. And then depending on the year, either I would make it while she's doing something else or vice versa. But this particular stuffing recipe is made of cornbread and white bread. Usually it has to be about a day old so that it's not so fresh because it's easier to make stuffing with bread that's a little bit more old, I guess, just not as fresh. Because fresh bread is really hard to cut and deal with, so you want it to be a little bit more hard. Yeah. So it has cornbread, white bread, sausage, usually pork, some sort of pork sausage, and chestnuts. And chestnuts, I'm trying to describe the taste.
Chestnuts roasting.
Yeah, that's the song.
Fire.
They're kind of soft and maybe a little bit sweet. I don't know how to describe them.
I don't know if I've ever had chestnuts.
You have. You've had them in this stuffing recipe.
Well, I didn't actively think about, what does this thing taste like?
Well, you had the chestnut. You've had chestnuts.
Yeah, in the stuffing. But
yeah, but you said you've never had
chestnuts.
chestnuts.
I didn't purposely seek out the chestnuts that were made.
Gotcha.
And have them.
But anyway, so
taste them,
bread, sausage, and chestnuts are the main ingredients. Then you add some onions, some celery, salt and pepper, some chicken stock. I'm biased because I make it every year, I'm pretty sure, since whenever my mom found this recipe. But I love it because it has so many flavors. It's homemade, and I like homemade cooking. And it has bread and sausage. So, I mean, that's
tasty.
The sound I make when I'm about to eat it. But anyway, I really like it.
I think AK finds it funny when we do that about food.
Oh, well, thanks for your feedback, AK. And then I have 2 dessert recipes.
Woo!
This first one is a pecan cranberry tart. Pecan. And I remember...
I thought you normally make pecan pie.
That's what this is.
Oh, this is what you make?
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a tart?
Yeah, I guess.
Oh.
I don't really know the difference.
But I thought when I saw it last time when you made it, it was actually in pie shape.
It is a pie shape.
Oh.
I usually call it a pecan pie, but in this recipe it's called a pecan cranberry tart.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You lied to me. You said it was pecan pie.
I didn't lie. It is a pie. It's in a pie shape. What the heck is the difference? Why does it matter what I call it? I could call it a cake.
But you didn't say the cranberry part.
Because, oh my gosh, it really doesn't matter what the formal name is.
Sorry. I'll let you continue.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So a lot of times when I made this in past years, my dad enjoyed it so much that a day or two after Thanksgiving, he would ask me to make it again.
Oh, that's sweet.
So then I would make it. I remember one year in college I made it again after Thanksgiving, and then I brought back some pieces to share. I think I had most of it because it was just really good and I didn't want to share it. But I like it because it's not as sweet as pecan pie. I guess because it has the cranberries. Or not as sweet as other pecan pies. Because it has the cranberries and more
it's a tart.
pecans. Whatever. It's a freaking pie. Tart pie, cake.
I know. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Bunt.
Just
Call it what you want.
Just giving you a hard time. You say blunt?
I said bunt.
Oh.
Like in My Big Fat Greek Wedding when they bring over a bunt.
Bunt.
And then the Greek family's like, it's a cake. It's a cake with the hole in the middle. Anyway.
Okay.
Final recipe will be pumpkin cheesecake.
Switching it up. Since obviously there's going to be pumpkin pie there, but switching it up with the pumpkin cheesecake.
A ginger snap crumb underlies this spicy cheesecake and caramel-coated pecans adorn the top for an irresistible alternative to traditional pecan pie.
Say pecan? You mean pumpkin?
Oh, pumpkin. Sorry, I was looking at the pecan tab and reading this and just out of control. But yeah, it has this ginger snap crust, which I like. Then the filling is a bunch of seasoning and cream cheese and pumpkin puree. And then the topping has butter, sugar, and pecan halves.
That can never go wrong with butter and sugar.
Seriously.
Especially on Thanksgiving.
Seriously.
It's hashtag American.
Indeed. So those are the 4 recipes I plan on making. We are also doing a 4K.
Oh, that's true. I forgot to mention
in the morning.
Plan on doing a turkey trot.
It was funny. When I talked to your mom today, she mentioned that you texted that I was going to send her a bunch of recipes, and then she wasn't sure if I would have time because she said we were going to be trotting. And then she's like, Adam never responded to my text, so maybe he thought I was being smart with him. And I did. Oh, I was going to be like, I'm sure he just forgot. But then I didn't say anything because I was like, I don't know. Are you mad at him? Should I say something? But anyway, then your mom said, yeah, I didn't know if you guys were going to be running for 4 hours. In the back of my head, I was like, I think if I ran for 4 hours, I would pass out.
Yeah, if we're running for 4 hours for a 4K, we're in big trouble. One of us is hurt.
Yeah. So a 4K is a little bit less than 2.5 miles.
Easy peasy.
So I really think...
They'll get done maybe an hour less, probably.
I mean, if you do it in an hour, that means you're going 2.5 miles an hour, which is slower than walking.
It is.
So, I mean, nothing wrong with walking. I mean, if you did it with someone that isn't a fan of running or someone elderly or a child, walk.
It's not like a race.
Yeah, I definitely want to run for part of it because I want to feel like I'm burning some calories so that I can eat a little bit more. Even though all these turkey trots, I remember seeing on the news one year, like how much you actually have to exercise and run to burn calories.
But you still feel good after you do it.
You do. But anyway, so it's funny because your mom was like, I thought it was going to be hours. And then I was just thinking, we would both literally pass out and I would not cook anything.
Yeah. But to be fair about the whole running thing, I know the calorie-wise may not be anywhere close to the amount that you would need for the Thanksgiving meal. But to be fair, especially because you're running in the morning, that's going to kickstart our metabolism, which also helps with burning calories and what you plan on eating that day. I'm sure we'll still be in the positive of calories eaten, but still, it'll start our metabolism off right in the morning.
Absolutely. But anyway, after that, we'll get into kicking gear. We'll get into cooking gear.
Cooking/baking, since we're doing both.
Yeah. I mean, so the cornbread's at 400 degrees, the stuffing, and the tart.
I think my mom has 2 ovens.
All right. Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Are at 375, and the cheesecake is at 350. So the 2 items that cook at 375 could technically be cooked together.
True. Look
at
that.
Put them side to side or top and bottom if it's convection. So.
Ari being more efficient.
Yum. I remember last year when I helped.
Segment. That's what I was thinking about for the podcast.
Oh, finally came to you. That's good. Well, that's ironic because by yelling segment, you segmented the podcast into more sections. Like that, you just separated the Thanksgiving segment 1 and segment 2 instead of having just one Thanksgiving segment.
So, well, it wasn't actually. If people are listening continuously, it's not going to be broken up for them.
I know, but you yelled segment.
That's fair. I did now break up
pause.
the Thanksgiving talk because we're speaking about this. I apologize.
It's okay. But anyway, what I was going to say is last year when I was hosting, or my mom technically, my parents were hosting Thanksgiving, and I was in the kitchen literally all day helping. My mom and I made a list of, I actually took a picture of it because I found it when I was at home, but a picture or a list of all the things we were going to make, and then I think on a separate sheet I had the order that we were making them in so that we knew what was going in the oven when and all of that. But
you're using your scrum skills to your benefit.
Ew. Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I like cooking and I like homemade foods, so hopefully someone other than you can appreciate some of these recipes. I know you will because you've had all of them at my parents' house and you like all of them.
I do.
You do. So good.
Final question that I wanted to ask about Thanksgiving, since we're running on about an hour now, which is, I mean, it's what we do for our 25th episode. Made it 25 episodes. 25 weeks. Wow. What are your favorite dishes for Thanksgiving? I'll just ask you right away. I'm going to guess stuffing.
This stuffing
That
recipe.
stuffing specifically.
Yes.
The one that has meat in it.
Yes. And last year my mom made, I don't know if this is for Thanksgiving or not, but she made scalloped potatoes with some sort of cheese on the top.
Yes.
So if you don't know what that means, scalloped potatoes is literally when you just cut a potato really, really thin. We did it with the food processor after a lot of back and forth. I remember we were talking about this because I think you and my mom said, oh, just throw it in the food processor. But then I didn't want to throw it in because then it wouldn't be cut as pretty shapes if I did it as if I had done it by hand. But then cutting it by hand just takes forever. But yeah, scalloped potatoes with, I think, Gruyere cheese.
Oh, my goodness.
I really like
Sounds so
potatoes.
good.
And I also like potatoes that have some
like
cheese on it.
potatoes.
Because I like mashed potatoes, but they're like, I don't know, not as creative. I like being a little bit more creative.
I like mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving if they're like seasoned with stuff. I've never been a fan of just plain mashed potatoes where you just mash it up with butter and just call it a day. I like it like
Butter and sugar. That's what makes everything better.
True. Maybe not mashed potatoes though. Butter and salt. You have to decide for sweet versus savory. Butter is consistently throughout it apparently, but I like mashed potatoes with like garlic, maybe some cheese in it. That always makes it good. I know in classic Italian fashion, we would always have for Thanksgiving, we would have too much though when I would go to my uncle's for Thanksgiving, and it would be just a whole bunch of stuff that at one point they were, unfortunately they cut off making these, but I was sad the first Thanksgiving they stopped making them, but stuffed shells they would always make, which is basically ravioli but in shell form where you have ricotta cheese inside the shell, and I always loved that so much. Maybe it's just I like pasta. I still do like pasta, just don't eat it as much. But I always like stuffed shells on Thanksgiving. Turkey, except for it would get a little dry, so I'd always have to, I do the classic like scoop of mashed potatoes mixed with turkey, because I was never into like the plain brown gravy that I would see all the time used for turkey. I would need to like try to make my own in the future if I want to, because I know I like gravy, but it's just certain types, like biscuit and gravy stuff I enjoy, but not just the straight brown turkey gravy that I see.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of some gravies that taste really bland and don't have any particular flavor. Turkey's really dry sometimes if you overcook it. So I'm not sure if turkey's in my top dishes.
But it's a thing for Thanksgiving. But I know in the future, when we want to host Thanksgiving, which we will in our new house in the future, we want to get a turducken. Am I right?
Turkey, chicken, and duck. Diversity.
But isn't it just a turkey and then it's like chopped up duck and chicken stuffed into it?
Yeah.
Basically.
Yep.
Probably makes it. I don't know. Would it still be? Because I can't remember if it was completely dry or if it was more moist because it had chicken and duck in it as well.
I don't remember. I just remember liking that there were 3 meats instead of 1.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you could mix it up. Because after like 3 bites of turkey, I'm like, okay, this is dry. I'm done. I don't want any more of this.
But something was going around that I actually wanted to mention also in the pod. That there was like a map going around, like of survey results for side dishes for Thanksgiving of American regions, and I have to say, I feel like this is completely off. But do you want me to send it to you so you can see it?
Sure.
Okay, I'll put it on the Google Doc just for you, baby. There you go. It's there. You can check it out. But I think it's off, especially they have the Northeast region saying that the main, and Maryland's included, that it's squash is the side dish of choice for Thanksgiving. Now,
I've literally never had squash on Thanksgiving.
Exactly. Even though you did mention you would want to make it for Thanksgiving.
I recently discovered butternut squash and I'm obsessed with it.
It is pretty good. I give you that. Especially you put enough spices on it and it's healthy for you. And then mac and cheese in the South, cornbread. And then why is there just a whole just section of salad? Who eats salad on Thanksgiving? Like, why is that the main side dish that you think of? Why is mashed potatoes not on here once? And green beans / casserole? Oh, my goodness.
To be fair, this survey, out of the entire country, it says 931 people responded. That's very skewed.
That's true.
We only got a certain type of person, and 900 divided by 50 is only like a handful of people per state, really.
That's a good point, Marta.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I think it's time to wrap it up for the pod, I should say.
I agree.
You agree? You concur? Yep. Okay. Well, this has been episode 25 of Husband and Wife Talks. We appreciate everybody for being here, listening to us. Remember, please share the podcast with your friends and family. We're on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, TuneIn, all those places. And you can also email the podcast. I always forget to mention it, but it's in there. The link is in the description to email us directly if you want any questions answered on the podcast. I know we have a few from our friend AK that we'll get to probably next week sometime. So we're looking forward to that. And just keep listening, sharing, enjoying. Maybe rate us 5 stars on iTunes. If you're on iTunes, go click us 5 stars. Go to the library, hit Husband and Wife Talks, go down to the bottom, hit 5 stars. Maybe give us a rating too. So that'd be nice. You have anything to say before we say goodbye?
Thanks for listening.
Bye.